Hi, this is Delilah with Art by Delilah, and I have a passion for painting. Today I'm going to do a high-speed demonstration of painting an orange on a small plate. Stay tuned and enjoy. I'm going to start out with a small sketch, not actually the whole details, and then I'm going to paint the background in. With a lot of my small still life paintings, I use a very dark background. I think it just helps the image to pop out. So I use a medium-sized brush and just get the background in to kind of establish what I want the colors to be as I work on the painting. It's important to get that background in so that you know if your image is light enough or dark enough. And so once that's established, it's a lot easier to maintain the colors that you want to use. When I start to paint the orange, I'm going to start with the local colors, the darker colors first, and then add some lighter colors as I go. Now, this is briefly just a sketch, so as I'm working, I will refine it more, add more. This is a tangerine. I think I said an orange when I was doing my statement, but actually it's a little tangerine. So with tangerines, you get a little bit of that green color in there, and so that's going to be a difficult thing to work in, but I want to get a little bit of that green in, and the shadows and the highlights. I've kind of briefly sketched in the plate there, and I'll work on that shape to get it more plate shaped. Right now it looks a little bowl shaped. I've left some areas white on the tangerine so that I remember to put my highlights in for the reflected light. There, I'm putting a little bit of those in now, and also a little bit of that green I spoke of that I wanted to get in that tangerine skin. Work on the darker areas in the shadow part of the tangerine. What I'm doing right now is I'm adding a little bit of reflected light that I saw on my plate, where the tangerine actually reflected onto the white colored plate. This is a white plate with blue trim that I'll be doing. So I never use a total white color, more of a gray down with a little blue in the white. I think it just helps the color, and that way when I put the highlights on, I can add some pure white and have them show up a lot better. Now as I'm painting here, I'm kind of refining that shape of that plate, trying to get it more oval. I'm looking almost straight on the plate. I'll need to add some more shadows under it as I work on it and refine that. On that side of the plate where the shadow is, I'll need to darken it around the orange. I'm saying orange again, it's a tangerine. Now I'm adding a little bit more of that highlight. Still have a lot of work here to do. Adding the little bit of the dark color where the shadow of the tangerine is. Refining the shape of that plate a little bit more now. Still need to add a little bit more dark color into that tangerine to make him set down on that plate. I will keep working over the whole composition as I continue here, putting highlights and dark areas in. And you really need to get those darks in dark enough. I didn't get it down here on the bottom as dark as I needed to, so now I'm adding a little alizarin to it and getting it darker as I move through the tangerine. I'm one of those people that think you really can't get things too dark. It's hard to go back and darken something up once you've gotten it light. So it's better to err on the darker side, which is much easier to go through then and lighten up a little bit than to start out too light. And don't be afraid to use some paint. Good thick paint just makes things pop out. There I go, and I'm adding a little bit more of that shadow that this needs in there. Some reflected lights. And now I need to start kind of thinking about that blue trim on that plate. To kind of refine that shape. The tangerine is kind of sitting back against the back rim of the plate. So, I want to make sure that I keep it back there. Working on that blue rim, which is kind of nice with the orange and the tangerine. The blue kind of gives a little zing. Now I'm adding some more shadow in underneath that plate to help it sit down, and some more of that reflected light on the orange. Kind of finishing up the details, adding a few highlights here and there. Need to add some highlights on the rim of the plate. Still working to get that tangerine dark enough on the one side. I just really didn't get it dark enough when I started. I keep focusing here, going back, just doing little bits of the thing, adding some more highlight there. As I worked, I kind of blended it in. That's okay. A lot of times when I'm doing these small paintings, I like to add a little thick paint here and there. It just draws the eye into the painting and gives it a little more interest. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. This is Delilah with Art by Delilah, and you have a great day.